The class which I would be taking today is basically focused upon various important personalities from modern history who have made great contributions. So every topic, every important personalities would be discussed in detail by me, and we'll cover that every possible questions which can be asked in UPSC that will be covered by me in a comprehensive manner. Those students who have still not joined the Plus platform, they can use my referral code Maluka10 to join the platform. I'm teaching not only history but also answer writing, current affairs, and the programs will be started soon by me. You can use my referral code Maluka10 to take the admission, and you'll definitely get a 10% discount on all the courses which are being run on the Plus platform, in which different educators are. Hello Achal, how are you? So those students can use referral code. Along with this, if they have any doubt regarding the UPSC preparation, they have any question regarding the UPSC preparation, they can definitely ask me while the course of the class is going on. And you can also join me on the Telegram group. कार्तिक, वेरी गुड इवनिंग. टेलीग्राम ग्रुप में आप अगर कोई भी डाउट है, आप वहाँ पे मेरे को ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं बाय द नेम मलूका सर. You can also join me on WhatsApp. WhatsApp पे आप मेरे को ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. You can message me your number on on this number 9910133084. इस पे आप करिए. I've created a group for the Unacademy students, basically focusing upon helping those students. Raja King, hello, how are you? And just message me on this number. I'll try to help you out. अगर वहाँ पे जब भी आप मैसेज करेंगे, do write your name and that you are a student of the Unacademy platform. Definitely write it over there, so that I can add you to the group, respective group जो भी आपका लिए हमने Unacademy students के लिए बनाया हुआ है. In this course of class, I would be discussing various important personalities which have made contribution in the modern history. So we'll starting from Acharya Narendra Dev and others. All the possible questions which can be asked in modern history, we'll try to cover, and whatever more questions can be there, we'll try to cover more and more of the facts, so that you definitely are in a position to answer a probable question which can be coming in the upcoming years. In the course of the class, just let me know if there is any doubt. I'll try to help you out on this. The first important personality that I would be covering today is Acharya Narendra Dev. He was basically made important contributions in the field of education. Therefore, he was an eminent educationalist also, nationalist also, and a socialist leader also in this context. He has also written many books. He was one of the founding members of the Congress Socialist Party. CSP was formed, and he was one of the founding members of that party also. Later on, he also was emerged as a vice chancellor of University of Lucknow and of Benares also. Elected as UPCC president in 1936. Achut S. Patwardhan, that is another important personality that was there. He was a famous socialist, nationalist, and also a great freedom fighter, and also one of the founding members of the Congress Socialist Party again. It was he who also led the Quit India movement in Maharashtra. Contributions were made in this field. He also retired from active politics after independence, but did not accept any government job in his lifetime. One of the greatest member and the founding member of the Congress Socialist Party. Next is Anand Mohan Bose. He was also a famous nationalist, a leader and a social reformer, a famous mathematician from Bengal, secretary of the Indian Association, an organization that was formed. He also got an opportunity to preside over the Madras session of Congress, which was held in 1898, when the Indian National Conference was organized before Indian National Conference was organized in 1883. He was also its member. He also played a major role in the promotion of women education. Next is another great leader is Ashfaqullah Khan. He was also a famous revolutionary terrorist, but earlier he had participated in a non-cooperation movement also. Non-cooperation movement. NCM he has participated. But later on, as we were unable to achieve success, as for example, Gandhi has promised that we would be getting Swaraj, but was not achieved. So he left the Gandhian methods and participated in various revolutionary activities. He was a member of Hindustan Republican Association (HRA) that was formed. He also participated in Kakori conspiracy case and was later on also hanged for that. One of the greatest revolutionary leader of that time. Next is Arvind Ghosh. He was a famous nationalist leader and he has left Indian civil services. Earlier he had joined. Leader of the revolutionary movement in Bengal. When the Swadeshi movement was launched and later on the government took various repressive measures for the suppressing of the Swadeshi movement. He left the region and therefore went to Pondicherry and established an ashram over there. The reason he chose Pondicherry because Pondicherry was not within the domain of the Britishers. He was also the editor of Yugantar, Karamayogi, and Dharma papers also. He was imprisoned for 1 year in Manektala bomb conspiracy case. He was also an important book, wrote Life Divine, The Census, and Essay on India. These were the important books that was written at that point. Virendranath Thakur is another important person. He got the credit to India to give Indian painting a reputed introduction. Indian painting at that point was given a reputed introduction. He also established an Indian Society of Oriental Art and advocated the Indian style of painting. He had also made great contributions during the time of Swadeshi movement and at that time established Indian Society of Oriental Arts and advocated an Indian style of painting and promoted it. Next important personality of modern history is Dr. Atmaram Ponderin. He was basically famous as the socio-religious reformer. In the context that he had made contribution in the establishment of the Prarthana Samaj, Prarthana Sabha in Bombay in 1867 that was established. Not only this, but he also worked for the improvement of society and Hindu religion also. Next important personality is Abdul Qasim Fazl ul Haq, a very important personality. He was a famous lawyer and a Muslim leader. He was also a founder of the Muslim League and he also presided over the Muslim League during 1916 to 21. Made important contribution in the Congress League agreement that was done. Congress और League का जो लखनऊ पैक्ट हुआ था उसमें दोनों को साथ में लाने के लिए इसने बहुत अच्छा रोल प्ले किया था. In 1918-19, he has basically worked as a secretary of the Congress, but later on left it after the non-cooperation movement. In 1937, he left the Muslim League and founded a new party by the name Krishak Praja Party. Krishak Praja Party को found किया. He later on became the Prime Minister of Bengal in 1937 till 1947. When the elections were held, his party got the majority. Abdul Kalam Azad, 1888 to 1895, 1958. He was the famous leader of the Congress and a freedom fighter also. He was a prominent scholar of Urdu and Muslim teaching and made great contribution in that. He is also later to the Deoband branch and used the surname Azad since he was 16 years of age. He presided over the special session of the Congress in Delhi in 1932. Also presided over the Jamaatul Ulema 1924 and National Muslim Conference 1929. In 1940, he was elected as the Congress president and remained as the president till 1946 itself. He was the first education minister of India and remained to the post till his death. Important books that was written by him was India Wins Freedom, Tarsirat Ajad. That were the important books that was written. A very, very important personality who had made a great contribution in the social religious reform movement and also in the Indian politics is Annie Besant. He was a British and Irish lady who had came to India in 1893 as active worker of the Theosophical Society. He made contribution in the field of education also and started a Central Hindu College at Banaras in 1898, which later on became Banaras Hindu University (BHU). Central Hindu College बनारस में बनाया था 1898 में, जो बाद में डेवलप होके बना भारत हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी. Bombay became president of Theosophical Society in 1907. A very important contribution was that and Home Rule League was started by her in 1916. Home Rule League वहाँ पे शुरू करी गई. With the basic objective, friends, there are two important persons who have started Home Rule League. Firstly, a very good evening. Firstly, the Home Rule League was started by Tilak in April 1916, and later on, the Home Rule League was also started by Annie Besant in 1916 September. And they worked in different parts in different areas. She also drafted the Commonwealth of India Bill, was drafted by her. She also presided over the Calcutta session of 1917 of Congress and was the first woman to preside over the Congress. She also edited Commonweal and New India are the important newspaper. पहला ये दो तीन points हैं जो काफ़ी बार पूछे जा चुके हैं UPSC में, and there are chances that they could be asked again. The important books that was written at that point were basically How India Fought for India, India a Nation in 1930. Very important personality. Next important personality of modern history is Badr Uddin Taibji, a very, very important person to make contribution. He was a liberal Congress leader and a social reformer. He was a founder member of the Indian National Congress, and also he was a founder member of the Bombay Presidency Association also, 1884 or 1885. He was the first Muslim president to preside over the Congress session which was conducted in 1887 in Madras. He was the first barrister of the Bombay High Court also. He was nominated as a member of the Bombay Legislative Assembly and had a good support for the women's education and for social reforms also. Bulla by the side, Bulla by the side. Basically, she was a lawyer and a Congress leader who entered into politics at the time of Home Rule League movement and was the leader of the Congress party in the Central Legislature Assembly for 9 years. It was who made an important role to break the prevailing deadlock by bringing out by Desai Liaquat Ali Pact. Agreement हुआ था, but finally the implementation could not be achieved. Desai Liaquat Ali Pact के लिए. He was the leader of the group of lawyers who was appointed by the Congress basically to defend the soldiers of the Azad Hind Fauj. During the historic Red Fort trial that was going on उसके time के ऊपर जो lawyers थे, he was one among them. The different lawyers that was fighting. Next, a very important leader is Vipin Chandra Pal. Lal Bal Pal एक trio है extremist leader का, he was one among them. He was one of the leaders of the Swadeshi movement, and with the objective that he wanted to promote boycott, national education, and Swaraj. One of the active exponent of India's cause in the foreign countries who made great contribution. Founder of Bande Mataram, Priyadarshika was a magazine, a newspaper journal that was there, that was coming weekly. He was also a sub-editor of Public Opinion and Tribune. Books that he wrote was Memoirs of My Lifetime, Mrs. Besant, A Psychological Study. So these were the important books that was written by Bipin Chandra Pal at that point. Next is Bal Gangadhar Tilak, famously known as Lokmanya, and also famous among the extremist tribe. अभी आपको बताया था लाल बाल पाल का Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He was considered as the father of the extremist theory in India, and he had established anti-cow killing societies also, akhadas and lathi clubs, etc. Not only this, but he also organized Ganesh and Shivaji festival during the Swadeshi movement that was launched. He used various innovative means, for example, Ganesh and Shivaji festival, to organize the people, to build the momentum in the Home Rule League movement. During the 18 months of jail trial for instigation of the Chapekar brothers for the killing Mr. Rand. Mr. Rand was killed, and it was said that it was because of the instigation that was done by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He has written in the newspaper, and the Chapekar brothers were instigated at that, जिसकी वजह से उन्होंने मिस्टर रैंड को मार दिया था. He was a plague commissioner at Pune. He has also written various seditious articles. उन seditious articles की वजह से इसको बर्मा में भेज दिया गया था on the contempt of sedition. The articles were written, and he was jailed for 6 years, 1908 to 1914. He also played a very important role, जैसे अभी आपको बताया था, Home Rule League was started in April 1916. Annie Besant has to wait because she had done a sort of an agreement and understanding with the Congress and given an opportunity Congress to come to certain points. But on the other hand, he was under no such obligation, therefore he came forward and started the Home Rule League movement. Two newspapers are very much important for this perspective, that is Kesari and Maratha. The books that were written by him are Gita Rahasya, Arctic Home of the Aryans. These were the important books that were written by Tilak. Next is Bhima Rao Ambedkar. Friends, while the course of the class, if any student has any problem regarding the preparation, regarding the choosing of the optional or the GS or any other thing, they can definitely ask me while the course of the class, while the class is going on. रेशमी हिंदी में नहीं है, मैं हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों में समझा देता हूँ, लेकिन जो नोट्स हैं वो इंग्लिश में ही मीडियम में मिलेंगे, आपको हिंदी मीडियम में नहीं मिलेंगे. Next is Bhima Rao Ambedkar. He was an important lawyer, a social worker, a politician, and a writer. It was he who championed the cause of the downtrodden people, especially Harijans, and was considered as a unanimous leader of this class, of the Harijans, of the downtrodden people. He had founded an Indian Labour Party and a scheduled caste federation also. He was a member of the Mumbai Legislative Council and the Governor General Executive Council also. He went on to become the first minister of independent India. Independent India का पहला law minister, it was Bhima Rao Ambedkar only. And he also presided over the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly. जो Constituent Assembly की drafting committee थी, उसके ऊपर भी भीमराव अम्बेडकर साहब ने ही preside over किया था. He has written various important books. कुछ books इन्होंने लिखी हुई हैं. The books, for example, Annihilation of the Caste, Thoughts of Pakistan, and Caste in India. These were the important books that was written at that point. Next is Sadar Bhagat Singh, a very important and influential personality from 1907 to 31. It is he who joined Hindustan Socialistic Republican Association in 1928 and also became its general secretary also. Earlier, he has founded Naujawan Bharat Sabha in 1926 in Lahore. He had also participated in various agitations against the Simon Commission that was going on in 1928. He also shot Sanders, a British officer in Lahore. Sanders को भी गोली मार दी थी. He had also thrown a bomb in the Delhi Central Legislative Assembly, basically in 1928, against the public safety bill that was introduced. He also got death sentence for Lahore conspiracy case and was hanged along with other persons, for example Sukhdev and Rajguru. इनको मिला के उनको फांसी दी गई थी on 23rd March 1931. He has given a slogan, very important slogan, that was the Inqilab Jindabad. The book that was written by him was Why I Am an Atheist. A very important book that was. Next important personality is Birsa Munda. Very important personality. He was a leader of the Munda tribe and also led the Munda movement or the Munda revolt or the Ulgan movement. Basically, that was a Munda revolt that took place in 1899. He was popularly known as God Birsa because many people they were there, they basically see him as a god. Later on, he was arrested and hanged also. उसके बाद में अरेस्ट भी किया गया और बाद में फिर हैंग भी कर दिया गया. Next is C.R. Das, Chittaranjan Das. He was a famous nationalist and a lawyer and defended Arvindo Ghosh and others in the Alipur conspiracy case also. It was he who presided over the Congress session which were held in Ahmedabad in 1921 and later on in Gaya also in 1922. He was elected as the president of the Indian Trade Union Congress in Lahore 1932 and Ahmedabad in 1924 session also, AITUC. ये very important. This is Chittaranjan Das is also known as देश बंधु. तो क्वेश्चन क्या बनता है, कौन से फ्रीडम फाइटर को देश बंधु भी बोला जाता है? This is a question that can be asked. He founded Swaraj Dal in 1923 with Motilal Nehru and others. Swaraj Dal found किया था. ये देश बंधु, this can be a question पूछा जा सकता है, किसको देश बंधु बोलते थे? Next, a very important personality is Chakravarthi Rajagopalachari, C. Rajagopalachari. He was a famous freedom fighter, a leader and a politician who had participated in non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, and also played a very important role in the Quit India movement also. He participated in the elections and became the Chief Minister of Madras in 1938-39. He had succeeded Mountbatten and was the first Indian Governor General of Indian Dominion. फ्रेंड्स ये क्वेश्चन डायरेक्टली ही आ जाते होते हैं बहुत बार. फाउंडेड स्वतंत्र पार्टी, अगर क्वेश्चन बताते हैं विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग लीडर लेड द फाउंडेशन ऑफ स्वतंत्र पार्टी. ही वाज आल्सो रिस्पांसिबल फॉर बैक होम सत्याग्रह in 1938 and removal of disability, civil disability also. He was awarded as a Bharat Ratna in 1954. Various important books that was written by him was the Religion and Culture, Reconciliation, etc. He was also famously known as the Chanakya of modern India. आजकल तो चाणक्य दूसरे हैं लेकिन इनको बड़ा चाणक्य of modern India. Next is C.F. Andrews. He was a Christian missionary and a professor of St. Stephen College दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ही गॉट अ टाइटल ऑफ दीन बंधु, ये क्वेश्चन बनता है और भी चुका है कि दीन बंधु किसको बोला जाता था, फ्रॉम महात्मा गांधी. He was the president, twice the president of All India Trade Union Congress. And not only this, but he has also worked with Gandhi in a Phoenix Action when they were there in South Africa. He played a very important role for the abolition of the indentured labor in Fiji. Fiji पे labor जो indentured labor थी उनको खत्म करने के लिए उनके लिए काफ़ी काम किया. He also had participated in the anti-untouchability movement and also vacuum satyagraha for temple entry, and made a great contribution in this field. Next is very important is Charles Metcalf. So friends, whenever you would be doing these personalities, it is very much important कि इन personalities को साथ ही साथ में आप revise भी करते रहिए. Because what happens is normally we tend to forget these things because they have been coming so often, it tend to forget. और इसकी वजह से बाद में problem क्या हो जाती है, you are unable to recall, unable to interlink various things. So that has to be overcome, and while I'm teaching you can make the notes and other thing and then try to learn, and because you're getting all these things assembled at one place in the books and other places, you do not find in a shorter format at one place itself. Next is Charles Metcalf, was there in from 1785 to 1846, Governor General of India, and played a very important role in the Treaty of Amritsar also, 1890. Annulled the prohibition imposing the licenses on the Press Act, उसको खत्म किया. Next is Dadabhai Naoroji, a very important person of Indian politics, basically in the field of economics. He founder of East India Association, and delivered lecture at Elphinstone Institute also. He became the first Indian to be elected to the British House of Commons. पहले Indian थे who was elected to the British House of Commons, and he was elected by the Liberal Party ticket from Finsbury in 1892. Very important person. Important personality directly ऐसा ही क्वेश्चन प्री में पूछ लेते हैं. And also played a very important role in the establishment of the Indian National Congress. He was the founding member of the Congress. Out of the 72 members that were there, he was one among the members. President of the Congress thrice in 1886, 1893, and later on in 1906. This is a very important session, friends, 1906. That was basically held at Calcutta. It was in this session that 4 resolutions were being passed. For the first time. For example, Swadeshi, for example, boycott, national education, and fourth is Swaraj. When the differences was going on during the the Swadeshi movement, that who should be becoming the president, either it is the person from the extremist or the moderates. Therefore, a consensus candidate was there. Dadabhai Naoroji was chosen as the candidate at that particular point of time because of his seniority and because everyone would be respecting him. The session was held at Calcutta, in which these 4 resolutions of Swadeshi, boycott, national education, and Swaraj were passed. Very important. His important newspapers are Voice of India and Rast Guftar. Important organizations were Gyan Prakashik Mandali, Bombay Association, both in Bombay, London Indian Association, etc. Popularly, he was known as the Grand Old Man of India. Popularly, he was known as a very important personality in the modern history. It was he also gave the drain theory of the wealth. The drain theory of wealth that was given at that point of time had played a very, very important and a fundamental role in creating awareness and thereby leading to development of economic nationalism in the country. It was this economic nationalism that has further gave way to the political nationalism also. The drain theory of the wealth was put forward in such simple way, such simple term, that even an illiterate person was in a position to understand that he is paying the taxes, he is paying the money, but is not getting anything in return. पैसा तो दे रहा है लेकिन उस पैसे के बदले he is not getting anything in return. It was a drain theory of the wealth which तो क्या हुआ, it is very easy to develop nationalism, comparatively easy to develop nationalism on an economic aspect. Every people started thinking कि यार मेरी जेब से ही पैसा जा रहा है, मेरी जेब से भी पैसा जा रहा है, now what should be done? So a consensus develop कि पूरे के पूरे से ही जा रहा है, therefore it becomes comparatively difficult. And therefore people could understand that exploitation is going on, that exploitation is going on very general and for everyone. In that case it becomes important कि exploitation को रोका कैसे जा सकता है. रोक नहीं सकती हैं because the power is not there. That therefore economic nationalism started developing. जैसे economic nationalism develop हो गया, that gave rise to political nationalism, and therefore it became comparatively easy for the development of the next phase of Congress, for example, which was dominated by the extremist phase. Therefore, it played a very important role. Hello, how are you? Next is Rajendra Prasad. Started his political life in 1916. He was one of the main Congress leaders in Bihar, participated in the anti-partition movement in Bengal also. But in the freedom's Champaran struggle also he participated. He established a Bihari student conference. And later on, he was elected as the president of the Congress session in 1934. He went on to become the food and agriculture minister of the interim government that was formed in 1946. He was also the president of the Constituent Assembly, the first president of independent India in 1950. And he continued and went on to serve for two consecutive terms, continuous terms. One of the important and the founder member of the National College that was founded at Patna, and also served as its principal and also wrote various important books. India Divided, Mahatma Gandhi and Bihar. These were the important books that was written by him. A very, very important personality of modern Indian history. Next important person is Pandita Ramabai, a great lady, social worker, and a reformer of Maharashtra. She comparatively devoted her life to educate the Hindu women and also to emancipate them for social injustice. Social injustice के लिए भी emancipate करना. He was converted into Christianity in 1883. Various institutions were founded by her. Mahila Arya Samaj at Pune, basically to promote women education and also discourage child marriage. Sharda Sadan at Bombay. It was a school for widows and other destitute ladies. Next is Mukti Sadan, Pune. It was basically a colony for the rehabilitation of the famine victims, especially the women victims who were affected of famine. Kirpa Sadan. It was basically a rehabilitation center for the socially degraded or the patit women. इनके था rehabilitation center बनाया हुआ था. Next, very, very important personality in modern history is Govind Ballabh Pant. It was he who had joined the legal profession at Allahabad and was also a famous politician and a parliamentarian. He was badly hurt when the Lathi charge was going on against the procession of the Simon Commission. The Simon Commission was a commission which was set up in 1927 1927 में जो कमीशन बिठाया गया था, it was assignment commission. It was basically there to take into consideration or to look कि किस किस तरीके से वहाँ पे डेवलपमेंट होनी है. 1919 का एक्ट था, 1919 का एक्ट which was there, the act that was there. What changes first to be introduced? Whether the government that is there, that is working according to the aims and aspirations of the people. The 1917, the Montagu Declaration, and later on also made it clear that they are trying to go for increasing association of Indians in every branch of the administration. Whether that is taking place or that is not taking place, it was basically to look into that into consideration. Assignment commission was set up. And what other steps can be taken ताकि हम अच्छे तरीके से administration provide कर सकते हैं that could sustain the British rule. Assignment commission. It was a 7-member commission, an all-white assignment commission that was appointed 2 years prior than its commitment. जब उसको अपॉइंट किया गया था, it was various political pessimism that was prevailing in India, that was what converted into political activism. जो pessimism prevail हो रहा था, उससे activism में वो convert हो गया. And various further developments took place. For example, the Nehru report was there. For example, the launching of civil disobedience movement and various other developments started taking place. And the impetus that was given was basically by the appointment of the Simon Commission. Next, he formed the first Congress ministry in his province, that is UP, in 1937. Again, in 1946, and became a prime minister of UP. उस टाइम पे उनको prime minister बोलते थे. He also played a very important role in the mediation between the Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose dispute. He was the author of the famous Pant report. बहुत important है. Pant report किसकी थी? It was basically Govind Ballabh Pant. Pant report किसके लिए थी? It was basically on the agrarian reforms that was there in UP. यूपी में एग्रेरियन रिफॉर्म्स के लिए गोविंद बल्लभ पंत की रिपोर्ट थी, पंत रिपोर्ट. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Friends, while the class is going on, if there is any doubt regarding any topic you want to ask something, definitely you can go ahead and I'll try to answer your questions which are coming. Next is Lala Lajpat Rai, a very important personality, also known as Punjab Kesari. या पंजाबी केसरी भी इनको बोला जाता है. He was a famous extremist leader from Punjab and was an active worker of the Arya Samaj and the Gadar Party also. Arya Samaj और Gadar Party दोनों के ही active worker थे. He later joined the Hindu Sangathan movement also. He was also elected as the president at Calcutta session of Congress 1920. Friends, this was basically a special session that was called by Congress. एक सेशन था. फॉर एग्जाम्पल द खिलाफत मूवमेंट वॉज लॉन्च्ड. खिलाफत मूवमेंट ने नॉन कॉपरेशन मूवमेंट को अपने प्लेटफॉर्म में तो शुरू कर दिया था, बट इट वॉज वेरी क्लियर टू गांधी एंड टू अदर लीडर्स ऑल्सो कि ऐसी कोई भी मूवमेंट अगर हिंदुस्तान में लॉन्च करनी है तो विदाउट द पार्टिसिपेशन ऑफ द कांग्रेस ऐसी मूवमेंट कोई भी सक्सेस नहीं हो पाएगी. Therefore, it has become important to convince the Congress that time has come, they also need to start a movement, non-cooperation movement. इसके लिए एक special session बुलाया गया कांग्रेस का. That special session was held at Calcutta, which was being presided by Lala Lajpat Rai. इस special session में decision लिया गया that the Congress would be launching the non-cooperation movement. और non-cooperation movement को 3 मुद्दों पे launch किया गया. First is Swaraj, second is basically Punjab wrongs, and third is the Khilafat issue. इन 3 मुद्दों के ऊपर नॉन कॉपरेशन मूवमेंट कांग्रेस प्लेटफॉर्म से लॉन्च किया गया when the special session was held. और इन स्पेशल सेशंस में जो रेजोल्यूशंस पास हुए थे that was later on implemented and passed in the formal congress sessions, जो ईयरली सेशन होता है दिसंबर में जो नागपुर में हुआ था. He also presided over the All India Trade Union Congress AITUC in 1920. It also helped in the formation of the Swaraj Dal, and he has also established DAV schools also. Important papers which are associated with him are Punjabi, Vande Mataram, and The People. These were the important papers that are associated with him. Various important books that was written by him are Young India, Political Future of India, The Problem of National Education in India. So these were the important books that was written by him, by Lala Lajpat Rai. Next, a very important personality who later on went on to become the president or prime minister of the country also is Lal Bahadur Shastri. He basically joined Indian politics in 1921 at the age of 17 years and was a dedicated follower of Gandhi and who has participated in all the major movements and बहुत बार जेल भी गए थे, went to jail very frequently. Later on, after the death of Nehru, he also went on to become the second Prime Minister of India. अब तो चलो इनके एक मूवी भी आई हुई है ताशकंद फाइल्स एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. He is being credited for India to win the Indo-Pakistan War that is there in 1965. He had given a slogan, जय जवान जय किसान. That was a slogan that was given. अभी मोदी साहब ने इसको थोड़ा एक्सटेंड कर दिया है, जय जवान जय किसान और जय विज्ञान. That is much relevant in the 21st century also. He died in Tashkent during the Tashkent agreement that was done. Next, a very important personality is J.P. Narayan, Jayaprakash Narayan, a very, very great socialist leader. A socialist, was attached with labor organizations and the movement of Congress also. He has founded the Socialist Party in 1934. He was in a position that he escaped from the Hazaribagh jail during the Quit India movement and led the secret revolutionary group also. He was sentenced for 2 years of imprisonment in Nasik. He was sent into a Nasik jail. He was also a founder of the Sarvodaya movement that was there and led the movement against emergency. Emergency के खिलाफ जयप्रकाश नारायण ने बहुत बड़ी movement launch करी थी. Later on, which led to the fall of the government of Indira Gandhi also and played a very, very important role in the formation of the next government. Another important personality to influence the people is basically Muhammad Ali Jinnah, 1876 to 1948. He was one of the famous laureates, leaders of the Muslim League, and also is famously known as the founder of Pakistan. He started his political life with Congress, but left after the non-cooperation movement. He joined the Muslim League and also became one of the supreme leaders, also known as Quaid-e-Azam of the Muslim League. When the Nehru report was put forward in 1928, and it was said by the Britishers, Lord Birkenhead, he has given the challenge to the Indian leaders that Indian leaders, it is they are not being made a part of the 1927 Simon Commission just because of reason कि इंडियंस में कंसेंसस आने में कंपैरेटिवली प्रॉब्लम आती. उसी लॉर्ड बिरकनहेड सेक्रेटरी ऑफ स्टेट के चैलेंज को लेके ही बाद में डिफरेंट लीडर्स दे केम टुगेदर एंड दे स्टार्टेड and they formed organization. Discussions were taking place which finally led and culminated into the Nehru report. Nehru report में it provided for joint electorate और separate electorate की बात नहीं हो रही थी. That was not acceptable to Jinnah. उसके खिलाफ जिन्ना ने अपने 14 पॉइंट्स दिए, 14 पॉइंट फार्मूला दिया in 1929. It was a formula that was given in response to the Nehru report. He also proposed the two-nation theory, which finally led to the division of India. He also became the first Governor General of Pakistan. Next is Motilal Nehru. He was a prominent lawyer in the Swadeshi movement. Elected as the president of the various Congress session. For example, the Congress session that was held in 1919 and later on इन पहले 1919 का अमृतसर में हुआ था और कैलकाटा वाला सेशन था 1928 में. He was also one of the founding member of the Swaraj Dal. He also presided over the all party committee जिसके बारे में अभी बात कर रहे थे. All party committee basically was there for the foundation of the for the drafting the constitution and famously known as Nehru report इसी time पे था and he was the president of that presided over that meeting. And because of this Nehru report, he was also called as famously Nehru report को बोला जाता है blueprint maker, the blueprint of the modern constitution. So therefore, because of that, he is referred to as the blueprint maker of the modern constitution of the country, Motilal Nehru. His important famous newspapers are the Independent. और जो book इसने लिखी थी that was important is the Voice of Freedom. So these are important personalities जिसको हम कर रहे हैं. We would be continuing upon that. Friends, if you want to ask anything regarding the preparation, you can ask your questions. अगर आप कुछ पूछना चाह रहे हैं, just let me know your questions. I'm waiting for your questions. कुछ भी और doubt है UPSC के regarding तो. You can ask your doubts, I would be answering to them, and I would be continuing with the class with another important personalities. The next is K.N. Katju, Kailash Nath Katju. So he was there from 1937 to 1969, 1837 to 69. Prominent lawyer of an Indian national leader also. Member of the Indian Congress Committee and the Constituent Assembly also. He was basically a person who represented the defense lawyers in the Merit conspiracy case. Merit conspiracy case that was basically a case that was started against the various leaders who were coming to and from abroad and trying to promote communism in the country. And Britishers ने उनके खिलाफ काफी actions लिया था and a case was started against them. In 1951, he became the Home Minister. And later on, Katju also went on to become the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh also. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, initially a teacher and later on he went on to become a lawyer. He was an ardent social reformer, a journalist and an educationist also. After 1909, he fully dedicated towards journalism, 1909, and he also edited Hindustan, Indian Union and Abhyudaya. These were the important editions that he has edited. He was one of the important personalities of Hindu Mahasabha and later presided over it also. He was elected for the Legislative Council of UP in 1902, then the Central Legislative Assembly also from 1910 to 20, then Imperial Council also. And he also went on to establish the BHU, Banaras Hindu University, and also later on became the VC of the university from 1919 to 1938 for a long time. Haji, namaskar. How are you? कैसे हो अंचल? The other papers which were there, Maryada and Kisan or the monthly title is Mahamana. Very, very important. Yes, the problem was there was some इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ब्रेकडाउन वाज देयर, जिसकी वजह से क्लास काफ़ी लेट शुरू कर पाए. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी काफ़ी यहाँ पे कुछ पटाखा सा पड़ गया था, जिसकी वजह से अनएबल टू स्टार्ट द क्लास ऑन टाइम. कुछ 10-15 20 मिनट कुछ लेट स्टार्ट हुई क्लास. इस सो आई विल बी कंप्लीटिंग द 1 hour of session. Next is T.K. Karve. He was a famous social reformer, okay, and a worker and educationalist, well known as अन्ना साहेब और महर्षि कार्वे. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. अन्ना साहेब किसको बोला जाता है, या महर्षि किसको, कार्वे किसको बोला जाता है, डी.के. कार्वे को ही बोला जाता है. He also married a widow and later on started widow remarriage association also. Opened Mahila Vidyalaya in 1907 and played a very important role in the foundation of Indian Women University in 1916, and later on also served as its vice chancellor also. He also presided over Indian Social Conference. The other organizations which associated with were the Widow Home, that is Mahila Ashram, Nishkam Kamat, and Samta Sangh. These were the important organizations which she were associated, and she also got a Bharat Ratna in 1958. Next, D.K. Karve associated with all these things. Next is Rash Bihari Ghosh. He was basically a moderate leader, famous lawyer, and also played an important role in the promotion of education. In 1907 का सेशन हुआ था सूरत में. It was this session that was being presided over by Rash Bihari घोष. तो फ्रेंड्स, दो अलग अलग लीडर हैं. एक है राश बिहारी बोस, एक है राश बिहारी घोष. He is basically a moderately extremist leader घोष, और ये है मॉडरेट लीडर. तो दो अलग अलग पर्सनैलिटीज हैं. फर्स्ट इज घोष वी वुड बी डूइंग, एंड सेकंड इज बोस वी वुड बी डूइंग. It was he who presided over the 1907 session. उस टाइम पे सूरत स्प्लिट हुआ था. He also criticized the growing extremism in the country. He gave away a large part of his wealth as endowment to the universities of Calcutta and Banaras. काफी पैसा दिया इनको यूनिवर्सिटी और बनारस और कलकत्ता को डेवलप होने के लिए. Next important personality is Rash Bihari Bose. He was a famous revolutionary of Bengal. He joined a Yugantar Ashram group. Basically, it was a revolutionary group in 1908, and later on also played a very important role, and it was an important member of the Gadar party also. And the leadership to the Gadar party was given by him only in India. When the Gadar party members, they was looking and they were fighting, they were trying to find a leader. It was he who became the leader of the Gadar party. Later on, various other things developed, and he has to leave. He has also thrown a bomb on Lord Harding, the viceroy. दिल्ली में वाइसरॉय के ऊपर बॉम्ब फेंक दिया था. बहुत बड़ी बात हुई थी. Escaped to Japan in 1915, married a Japanese, and also got a nationality of Japan also. He also founded Indian Independent League in Bangkok, founded Indian National Army INA with Captain मोहन सिंह in 1943. इंडियन नेशनल आर्मी को इन्फॉर्म करने में भी इनका बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले किया था. Next important personality is S. Radhakrishnan. He was a prominent scholar of religion and philosophy also. A professor of philosophy in many universities in London, in for example Oxford, Manchester, etc. And he also served as the Vice Chancellor of BHU, Banaras Hindu University, S. Radhakrishnan. He was the first person. He was the person who became the first Vice President of Free India and served for two consecutive terms. And later on, he also served as the second President of India in 1962 to 66. His birthday, that is 5th of September, is basically celebrated as Teachers' Day. Important books of his time are The Hindu View of Life, Religion and Society, Religion and Culture, Indian Philosophy, The View of My Life. He also was awarded as the Bharat Ratna in 1954 and Templeton Foundation Award later on 1974 also. The friends S. Radhakrishnan is very much इसका डेट देख he was very much important in the context that ethics में भी इनके बारे में पूछा जा सकता है. Ethics में भी एक क्वेश्चन बनता है कि ideology of Radhakrishnan, very important. Next is a very important revolutionary leader of UP, that is Ram Prasad Bismil. From UP, a revolutionary leader थे, and he was also a famous poet also. He was one of the very important founder member of Hindustan Republican Association, HRA, that was formed. He played a very prime role, important role in Kakori train dacoity, and also involved in Manpuri case also. He died on the gallows at Gorakhpur during the Kakori case. A very important personality next is Rabindranath Tagore, a great poet, a painter, a writer, and an educationalist. It is said that he has written more than 1000 poems. 1000 से ज़्यादा poems लिखी, 200 से ज़्यादा songs लिखे, many short stories were written, novels were written, essays were written by him. And not only this, but he also made more than 3000 paintings. So much contribution in all different fields. His book Gitanjali, it went on to win the Nobel Prize in life 1913 in literature, Nobel Prize that was won in literature. British King George V had also given him the title of a Sir. He opened the school by the name, yes, Shanti Niketan in 1901, which was converted into a Vishwa Hindu University, Vishwabharati University in 1918. He also wrote the national song Jan Gan Man was written by him. Because of the killings that took place in Jallianwala Bagh, he returned his knighthood. The famous books are Gitanjali, Chitra, Gora, Court Dancer, etc. are his famous books. ये उनके पोएम की लाइन है. Okay, yes. Okay, thank you. Next is Mahadev Desai, a very important and a reformer in this regard only. A well-known freedom fighter and a very important ardent follower of Gandhi. He participated in all major national movements since the Champaran Satyagraha, that was Champaran Satyagraha से जितने भी important movement हुआ, Gandhi के साथ he was there. Secretary of Gandhi for 25 years. During Quit India movement, he was kept in Aga Khan Palace with Gandhi. He died there in confinement. He also edited The Independent at Allahabad and Navjivan at Ahmedabad. Very important papers that was edited by him. Just hold on. Just so friends, we would be carrying on the class till here only. और यहीं तक इसको क्लास को कंटिन्यू करते हैं. We'll end the class over here. The time is also over. And in the next upcoming sessions that I am taking up, I would be discussing various other important issues which are important from UPSC. I would also be taking up various sessions. Special classes भी काफ़ी होने वाली हैं. YouTube sessions भी हैं. And those students who were there want to join the Plus platform, they can use my referral code Maluka10. जैसे ही आप मेरा रेफरल कोड मलूका 10 यूज़ करेंगे, यू विल गेट अ 10% डिस्काउंट ऑन ऑल द कोर्सेज विच आर बीइंग रन ऑन द प्लस प्लेटफॉर्म. प्लस प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर जो भी कोर्सेज आपके ऊपर, उसको 10% डिस्काउंट मिलेगा. तो फ्रेंड्स, आज हम यहीं पे क्लास को एंड करते हैं. विल कंटिन्यू सेशन. थैंक यू वेरी मच.